So it looks like we're live and we have people joining. Hello, everybody who's joining. Thank you so much. I'm Carrie Loranger. I'm the founder of Nine to Thrive. It's a newsletter, but more than a newsletter, it's a community where I help people build multiple income streams, starting with one newsletter. What motivates me to do that is that there's no such thing as job security anymore. And I really believe that people, whether they're employed or, have an agency or whatever it is, need multiple income streams. And one of the easiest ways to start building that is on Substack with a free newsletter. I think a lot of people think I teach Substack, and I do, but they're missing the bigger picture if they think I just teach Substack. That said, today we're talking about notes, and I'm joined by Derek Hughes, all the way from the UK. Well, maybe not for some of you, maybe that's close. But Derek, I'll let you introduce yourself. We've been kind of on parallel paths, it seems, in terms of our growth and development of our publications and everything. So please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Derek. Hi, everyone. Good to be with you. I write on the Irresistible Writer. And I stumbled into writing online a couple of years ago, stumbled into Substack as well, and kind of semi-accidentally started making money, and all the stuff you just said there, Carrie, kind of discovering that there is so much opportunity and freedom in making money online, and it just gives you so many options, doesn't it? I mean, I've ended up basically quitting my full-time job because of what I've been able to make online, but that was never really the plan. I was just kind of messing about on the side, and then discovered it, and now I'm passionate about helping other people do whatever they want to do online. I just think it's fantastic, really, and the costs are so low, so you can just have a go, and you're not going to bankrupt yourself or anything like that. You're just going to have a go and see what happens, and
Exactly.
that key part of that on there.
So what was your occupation? What was your job? I never asked you that.
So I work for churches and charities, so I still do a little bit of that. And I've
Nice.
managed to, effectively go to my boss, say, I'd like to do this, and I'd like to not do any of those things. And being able to just craft the bits and pieces of the job that I wanted to keep and get rid of everything else, which I know that's living the dream, but it shows what's possible.
I mean, it's very doable. It's very doable. It doesn't happen overnight, it takes time to build your audience and, even to get your positioning right, what your newsletter is going to be about. I think people are so good at so many things. As you go through life, you acquire all these skills and you have to decide one for your newsletter. Well, I think you do. If you're going to turn it into a business, you do. Certainly, there's other models out there that are just writing or just sharing or poetry. But if you're trying to build a business, that's the way. So, this is perfect timing for this live. I know we kind of planned it out a while ago. I reached out and said, hey, let's do our live. But we have both experienced some pretty impressive growth. This is the first growth spurt I've had since my big growth spurt back in March and April last year. I actually got 1,400 new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. It's the last 30 days that I took the screenshot for the preview of this. But why don't you talk about your growth as well?
I mean, I don't always look at my numbers these days. I kind of get going with it, but for a post at the beginning of February, so I'm going to look at what my stats were from January, and I was quite surprised that I'd hit about 800 new subscribers in January, and most of them came from notes. So I've never had spectacular, thousands and that in a month. I've just been pretty steady. At around about the 500 mark, probably typically month in, month out. But then every now and again, there's a little spike up to maybe 800. And that's, often driven by notes, really. That's free subscribers. Robin's asking if that was 800 paid, but no, that's just subscribers onto the free newsletter.
Yeah. Yeah, I should monitor these comments. I'm not
Yeah,
doing that.
I've got it on the
Good
side of it. You can see it as
good
well.
catch there.
So
I see Catherine joined. Catherine, I owe you an email, and I'm gonna help you. I was looking at that, earlier about what's going on with she wants to take my she wants to have me help her set up her Substack, and I do have an offer for that, and she's having trouble. So, side note. So Derek, what do you attribute this growth to? Did you change anything in the way you proceed with notes?
Not especially. I mean, to be honest, I'm always just kind of experimenting and trying new things and sending things out. And but notes, I don't think too much about it. I try and just publish maybe 5 to 10 a day, and I've just got kind of a regular flow of ideas, and I have a big bank of notes, and I just keep firing them out. And I do have some general principles that I follow, but I think if you keep doing it regularly enough, some of them will really kick on. And so yeah, for me, it's just about consistency. And to be honest, if I got 300 a month from Note, then that's kind of absolutely fine. If it goes up to 500, 600, then that is even better. Carmen's asking what notes are. So notes are the Substack kind of social media thing. It's kind of the Twitter version. If you want to know what it looks like, on Substack you have your long form content, which is called posts, and your short form, which is called notes. They're like the two things that you publish. So yeah, for me, if I did a deep dive, I'd probably find some familiar themes around touching on the pain points of your audience, particularly writing that connects emotionally tends to work really well for me, and stories, emotional storytelling, and successes as well. They tend to do well. But I just tend to not overthink it, and that's one of my frustrations when I'm coaching people and helping people on Substack, how they think, yeah, I'm going to write a note eventually, or they've wrote one and then the next one's going to be in 3 days. And because notes are so short, they're definitely the one you just don't want to think about. You just get it out there as many as you can. If you've got an idea, just stick it out. Because if it doesn't work and nobody sees it, then that's absolutely fine. You've got there's no cost to it, so most of it just comes from experimenting and getting ideas. Keep an idea what other people are doing, what's working on the platform, what's working for other people, and just yeah, firing up. Use a lot of AI for that myself as well. But your notes
Yeah.
have done well as well, haven't they, Carrie?
Yeah, I always say this is like one big experiment that never ends.
Yeah,
It's just testing different types of notes. You'll find soon if you do it, if you really pay attention, you'll soon find some note formats that work better than others. Um, somebody's asking, is there oh, that's Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Somebody's asking, is there a character limit of notes? Um, I've heard that there isn't, but you can test that. I don't recommend that you post too long though on notes. Just keep them short, really, under 200 words for sure. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I tend to, my optimum notes tend to be 30 to 60 words, maybe 5 lines long. That's kind of my standard one. But I do mix it up with images and kind of longer stuff as well. My kind of custom chat GPT I have is very much around kind of 30 to 60 words. Start with a really punchy sentence, end with a punchy one, and then kind of have value in the middle. Um, but Harry's asking what gets the most traction. And for me, the ones that get the most tractions are ones that speak to the highest pain point of my audience. So the stuff that really is a surface level pain point is what gets the most traction for me on notes. Notes is not the place where people think, hyper deeply in really long ways about kind of complex things, but just the kind of encouragement. You can't say very much, but I know that my audience has a number of pain points, but some of them are best addressed in posts. But some of the more obvious surface level stuff around making money, being consistent, getting people to see your work, being invisible, keeping going. For my audience, they're the ones And if you test it, the important thing is you value it and you regularly check. And so every month I'll get my best performers together, and from that I'll know like the key pain points that my audience is responding to, and then I just write about them again for the next month. So your audience will tell you what gets the most traction, and that's relative. So if you're writing at the moment and you get 1 or 2 likes and then suddenly you get 3 likes, then that's the best performer for you. So you
Yeah.
notice at what that is. Don't compare to someone who's got 10 or 40 or 100. Just pick your own number as the best performers and then notice them and try and work out what was it that made them do well. Was it the hook? Was it the content? And then try and do a new version of that. And essentially that's all that I just keep doing. And every
Yeah.
now and again, I write for me on a new idea or whatever, but that's kind of what I follow.
Yeah, that's exactly how I started as well. In fact, I was so frustrated because my first 3 months on Substack was nothing. No likes, no follows, no subscribers. I think after 3 or 4 months, I had 11 subscribers,
Wow.
and finally, and that's when I got frustrated. I'm like, "Okay, I give everything time, right? So 60 to 90 days is reasonable." But I had figured out this isn't working. What am I not doing right? And I did kind of a study of systems, and I did a lot of testing and looked at other people, what they're doing and what works. For me, the best kind of note is what I call the generosity note. And that's where you help other people or you give them some support. There's a lot of new people joining Substack right now, and they need to grow. They need help. They need people to like and follow and share. So you'll see me doing notes boosts for people in my chat. I also do, well, the generosity note is really one where you say, hey, if you're new or if you're in some category, drop your links below and I'll support you.
Yeah.
Um, the way you support people, though, you have to be very careful, but you have to deliver on what you promise, right? I can't subscribe to everybody, obviously, but I can certainly like, and if I think their note is right for my audience, I can restack it. I can follow them. I follow a lot of people that do those kinds of things. So those types of notes work really well. I know people don't like them. There's certain formats that show up a lot and people get frustrated seeing so many of those, but the reason that they're there is because they work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
go on. You were going to say something else there, Carrie.
no, go ahead. Go ahead with
Um, I was going to say for those people who are kind of new, maybe, or just getting their heads around it, the whole thing about notes is it helps you reach new people. So it's not just for your subscribers or your followers, but the way the algorithm works is Substack wants you to find new people. That's a bit harder to do with Substack posts, although it's not impossible. So you want to be writing for your ideal audience, your ideal customer. And so initially your stuff will get shown to maybe your subscribers and your followers. If they like it and comment it, and Substack thinks actually this has got real value, then it'll start sharing it with a wider group of people. And that's where you can start to get hundreds of people liking and commenting. And this is why we are getting so many subscribers, because it's getting shown to people who don't currently subscribe to us, but they see value in our notes. And therefore they want to check us out. They maybe check our homepage. They'll subscribe to us because of that. And so just by writing notes with value of interest that connects to your ideal customer, that's what Substack will use to share it far and wide. And that gives
yeah.
Substack the advantage over all other social media because it wants people to subscribe to you. Every other platform, your LinkedIn and your Twitters and stuff, at Medium, they don't want you going elsewhere and they will suppress the links. But Substack is your friend and notes the way that you are getting out there. So think about writing for the people who don't yet subscribe for you, but you could really help them, and write good
Yes.
notes. And that's where you will get going. But it's got to be volume, hasn't it? You can't sit there and navel gaze for an hour and craft the perfect note. I couldn't do that even tomorrow, so you just churn them out, get an idea, send it out, send it out. And because it's 30, 60 words, you should be able to, with the help of AI, do 5, 10 a day. And they're all little lottery tickets, they're little seeds you're sending out to find new members who might be able to be interested in you, and do that for 3 months, posting 5 to 10 a day, and you'll be flying, won't you?
Yeah, yeah. They're like mini ads for what you stand for, what you're all about.
Yeah,
You can mix them up. You can do some informational, some quick wins, some how to's, something that's going to really pique people's interest. That's what you want. I'm going to share. People are saying, "Oh, 5 a day, that's a lot." It is a lot, but there's tools to help you. I happen to use one called Right Stack, and I'm going to put my link here. This is my affiliate link for full disclosure, but if you're just starting out or struggling to stay consistent like I was, RightStack is a really good tool for it's just a platform. It helps you build the notes and then schedule them out because there's no native scheduling mechanism inside of Substack. But yeah, so these are your little discovery nuggets that you want to put out there consistently. um, I have I've heard another creator recently that's in my space talk about notes and said it doesn't matter how many notes you put out a day. I beg to differ. I think there is definitely it matters. The more consistent you are, for me, I've tested every format. I've tested 1 note, 3 notes, 7 notes, 10, and 14. Can anybody guess what the winner was? Anybody? Let's see if anybody can put in here. How many notes a day should you post? How many notes a day do you think is the ideal? 14, 14, 14, 3. Awesome, awesome. 3, 10.
and
Yeah, 10. 10's the winner for me. And that's for me. Okay. That's not for you necessarily. Test it, test everything yourself. Um, but I got a lot of growth when I started doing 10. In fact, that kind of, I don't know if you all saw the promotional post that I put out, the promotional note I put out for today's live, but that's an actual there's a graph of my growth, and it just really spiked up when I started the 10 a day.
yeah,
So, I know it seems like a lot, but yes, there's definitely a way to do it that saves you time with the tool that I just mentioned, Right Stack. That's
yeah.
what I would recommend. So, people are shocked about 10, I know,
I
but
mean,
again,
the yeah, I mean, I don't think that is that. I mean, I think that it's pretty difficult if you write them all by hand yourself. That is a reasonable amount. But with the advent of AI today, and because Notes is very template based, and there's loads of templates around that people can use. You can get them off me or Carrie, but you can look online and you'll see what standard formats people are using. As soon as you've got a template, and as soon as you know your audience pain points, then actually AI can create them pretty well for you. So I use custom prompts where it'll give me 5 at a time. So I'll put in an idea, I'll get 5 out, probably 3 will be usable. So I'll post one straight away, the other 2 go in my resource bank. And every time I do that, I'm creating 2 or 3, which takes literally 30 seconds to do. And so I just
yeah,
have like this massive bank that builds up. And so whenever I post it, and that takes hardly any time. But I don't. We might have said this already, but I repost old notes. So I gather my best performers. They're all. I get somebody to do it for me. Just get them Upwork, and then gather my best performers, and then I just repost them. So I've got a document of my best performers from the last 3 months, and they'll just gradually get reposted, and probably 75% of the time, the best performers do well a second time. And that's just free new subscribers. Because as
yeah,
wonderful as we both are, nobody remembers what we posted on Notes 3 months ago. But nobody
yeah.
is paying that close attention.
There's
Um,
always new
that's,
people.
that's a
Well,
really good cut. Go on.
one of the things that I started doing quite a while ago was repurposing my newsletter. So I'll have a newsletter, whether it performed well or not, I don't care. I just take it the newsletter. I ask AI to help me break this down into 5 different notes,
Yeah.
and does a really good job of that. So that's a trick you guys might try if you're struggling with the volume of notes. I talk a lot because I'm really passionate about what I do. So
Yeah,
it's easy for me to speak on sort of my content pillars around helping people have multiple income streams. We've got a couple questions here. I'd like to kind of address these before they get. Do you repost yours and other people's? Yes, absolutely. You can restack your own note.
yeah,
Did anybody know that?
yeah, yeah,
And that's pretty cool because it keeps the history. So any likes or shares or comments, it will keep that information when you restack. So you get a little bit of lift there. I think that's a good tip for people. And then you can also unrestack something and then restack it again. So if you're getting really good traction on the note, and it starts to kind of peter out, go back 2 weeks later, a month later, and restack it.
yeah.
That's really something that's easy to do. Do you think the time of day matters? Um, you know, I don't.
No,
I don't at all.
no. I think that's wasted effort. You're better not thinking about that and just getting your note out. You know what I mean? Get 5
Yeah.
a day, just getting them out. Don't try and think, oh, it needs to be 7 minutes past 2 or whatever, because that time thinking about that, you could have published another note by then.
I mean,
Have you
there's
seen Robin's
people.
question? Robin is asking whether we should include photos. Do you ever include a photo with notes?
Yeah, sometimes it just depends. But I've had mixed results myself with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they think, "Oh, this is gonna go great because this is a great photo and it's gonna really pique people's interest," and it falls flat. I can't say I've had any real bangers with a photo, but some people have. So,
Yeah, I mean, what I do a little bit of actually on my when I've written a post, for example, I'll get AI to give me some like single line statements or quotes from it that are really punchy, and I'll sometimes put that into an image, so you just get
yeah.
the one line as an image. So if you've got any, really sharp sentences in your Substack post, then you can turn that into an image. Um, and that can be another way just to add a bit of variety. So some of mine of those have done reasonably well. And you've obviously done the screenshots, haven't you, for this? I think screenshots of results or client feedback, or if you've done maybe a coaching group and you put a photo, you put your screenshot of your Zoom thing, anything that's like a bit of interest or even evidence of like proving what you're talking about, you should, if you've made your first sale, do a photograph of the sale coming through, a screenshot. I think all of that adds a bit of credibility. It's not so much capturing attention, but it kind of proves what you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. Kimberly's saying, I'm new to Substack. Do notes just sit? How do people see your notes if you don't have a lot of subscribers? Is there a better time? Okay. So, Kimberly, here's the thing. Your subscribers, yes, they will see your notes, but also people who follow you. I just crossed 6,500 subscribers, um, and I have double that in followers. So those followers are all, I'll say, eligible to see my notes, which is why I do publish so many a day. That's part of my strategy, is because those people are global. And if I'm constantly posting, 12,000 people are more, it's just a mathematics of it, right? They're more likely to see, because they also have their own individual people they're following, and they're seeing their notes too. So I want to, gives me a better chance of being seen, is kind of what I'm saying. Um, what do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you get, I mean, the more followers and subscribers you've got, the more chance of more people seeing your note. But even if you're quite small, if you post the right note, then more people can see it. But it's all relative, isn't it? If you've got 10 subscribers and 50 people see your note, then that's 40 people who don't subscribe to you. and that's people who are getting a chance to sign up for your stuff. So yeah, Notes is the one that's going to go a bit further. Um, there's a question from Skippy's actually, which has just reminded me that you can actually. So I was talking about putting a sentence into an image, and I do that through like AI or something. But actually, you can restack a sentence or two from your post, which goes into Notes. And the advantage of that is that link is kept to your post. So if you restack a quote, not just the post itself, but people see the sentence and like it, if they click on it, they're going to get to see your whole post. And if they see the whole post, then they're more likely to subscribe to you. So once you've written a post, I mean, I probably do that for every post. I'll share a sentence or two from it. And that's like zero effort, but really valuable. So, I mean, that doesn't tend to go viral for me, but if you only need a few people from that to view your post, and you may pick up a few more subscribers. So
I
when
always get subscribers when I do that. So what guys, how you do this, for those who don't know, I see we have some new people. You go to your post, your newsletter posts that you just made, and I think you have to be in edit mode to do this. Am I correct? I can't
yeah,
recall.
yeah,
Yeah, so you go to edit it, and then you find a sentence that you want to use as that image quote, and you highlight it. And then there's sort of this little pop-up that comes, and you can turn that into a note. I think it says restack. You wanna
yeah,
restack that quote, and it'll put it on a nice background. I think you get a few choices, and
yeah,
then it turns it into a note, and you can say something about it. You can add some color onto that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, when we're saying 5 to 10, you could do that a few times, maybe once a day or something, and that's like a effortless one. Plus all the other mechanisms we're talking about. So once you start breaking it down to that, actually, it starts to get a bit easier. Michelle's right; you don't have to be an edit note. I just tested it,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, and you can just share the whole post. So I always share a post that I've written. I mean, that automatically gets shared, but I always share it maybe
Yeah.
24 hours later with a little teaser that gets people to click. So there's like another note that you could do that's like free. So once you start to add those up, uh, probably 10 minutes a day, and you can write 5 to 10, with the AI and all those tips and stuff. Um, Ruth's asking about how we space out our 10 notes a day. Um,
Yep. So my audience is mainly in the US and the UK. So for myself, I post every hour during the day that I'm here at my computer or, accessible, because I want to respond to people. That's another part of it, right? There's the engagement strategy. So if you engage, that note's going to get more, how do I call it? Juice,
yeah,
momentum. You know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
the algorithm's gonna say, "Hey, people like this. Let's show it to more people." Someone was asking, "Do the followers of our followers or subscribers see our notes or just our followers?" That's a great question, and that's one of those mysterious algorithm things that I don't know the exact answer to it, but I do know that Substack is trying to really help people grow, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're showing it outside of just your followers as well. What do you think, Derek? Any theories on that?
yeah. I mean, when Substack's talked about how it works, essentially, when they're trying to work out from all the signals who would like your note, who's interested in this, because they want to show it to the right people. So if you write something and your followers and subscribers like it, comment it on it, etc., Substack uses that as information. So it says, right, these guys really like this. Who else likes similar stuff to these guys? And it'll go to the people who are similar to them based on all their interactions or all the information. Because Substack doesn't want to annoy people by showing, political stuff to people who are not interested, or parent stuff to people who are not interested in that. So it uses that. And so rather than think that's about clever algorithm stuff, what it is really about is Substack is trying to get you in front of the people you can really help. Yeah, so
Yeah.
just don't focus on trying to go viral and getting hacks and stuff. Try and focus on serving your audience and solving their problems, being useful and value. And do that, and Substack, through its algorithm, will try and get your stuff in front of the right people who you can help, which means they're likely to become loyal fans and stuff. So you've got to think. I always discourage people thinking about like the algorithm and the hack and stuff, and just think about people and the people you want to serve, and try and be as useful and helpful to them. And Substack will do the rest because it's your friend. Uh,
It is, yeah. I see no political content or anything that I really don't want in my notes feed at
uh,
all.
yeah, yeah,
It does do it sort of automatically, doesn't it? Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So what do we got there? Paid versus free subscribers and notes. Um, what part of that? Can you elaborate, Robin, a little more on that? Yeah, I mean, certain I'm always surprised where free subscribers come from. Like, there's some posts or notes that'll get me just tons of free subscribers, and then some will get a few paid, and, I'm just I mean, it's just you don't know, and it's a mixed bag. Do you have any strategies around that?
I mean, sometimes I get paid subscribers from writing notes, but that's quite a leap, from someone who's not seen your stuff to jump straight from not just subscribing to being paid as well. Um, but I think for me, I kind of do a mixture of port notes that I think are gonna really reach quite far, and then I'll also do the notes of those who are really interested in me to show my value, which mightn't go as far, but might get people to subscribe and maybe even sign up for paid stuff. So I will occasionally drop in notes about what paid subscribers get, but it's not my main strategy because notes is to like new people. It's people who doesn't know very much. So you just want to get them on the first rung. You don't want to be selling your products in notes. I mean, occasionally I'll mention them, but really that's for your email strategy, as it were. So
You know,
yeah,
that's a great point because once you get them in your email, you can establish feedback loops, which I've been doing. You can also use that chat community. Um, every publication gets a chat, so I have the 9 to Thrive chat, and I try to pop in there a couple times a week and start a conversation with my community. But that thread is called a thread, right? So the thread that you start there also gets shown on notes. And that's how you get new people in your chat. The chat is your opportunity to build trust, help people, show your value. And that's when people join the paid subscription. They're not gonna open their wallet if they don't know you. You have to get to know them and show who you are. And that's why lives like this are great. You guys can see us talking, we're real people. You can see the books on Derek's bookshelf.
yeah,
That's, get a bit of a personality there and then decide whether that's someone you really enjoy or not and you're willing to pay for. So, yeah,
yeah.
that's great.
Um, Yeah, and I think kind of along the lines of that, it's just it Substack is quite complicated with all these features, isn't it? And it's kind of understanding the purpose of each one and not getting confused. So the idea of chat is for your subscribers, so you're trying to build trust, as you said there, Carrie. Notes, you're really trying to get new people onto your list from that, and then your post is about deepening that trust and that value. So that, I mean, ultimately, if you want to make money, that kind of helps with that. And just once you're clear on that, then you can think, right, for my paid subscribers, what sort of chat would they appreciate? My ideal customer who doesn't know me yet, what sort of notes might attract them into my writing? And then with your posts, what sort of value can I add to those people who are already signed up for me? And once you get clear on that, it gets a bit easier to separate out what you're doing with each piece of the puzzle, as it were.
Yes, absolutely. Um, we got lots of questions, Derek. Any you see there that you wanna take?
Uh,
Um, Catherine's asking about badges, rising tags, trending tabs. That's a lot. I mean, those are all Substack features
yeah,
that
yeah.
I don't pay much attention to be honest. There are emails that you need to set up in Substack, um, and the paid newsletter, yeah. All of those things I don't pay much attention to be honest. Do you, Derek, use any of those things?
Now, the thing that I pay attention to is if I end up on a leaderboard, I'll make sure I'll screenshot that and I'll post it in notes. You know what I mean? So when you're rising on education or you're rising, that's a bit of social proof, isn't it? So I will, uh,
Yeah.
screenshot that and share that. But I mean, you're on the leaderboard one day and you're off the next. But that's kind of,
Yeah.
uh,
I know. I always struggle with that because 'cause I'll go up to 42 and then down to 89 and then up to 12, and, it's like, well, do I really wanna share this every single time? I was just 43 2 days ago, and I was like, I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I won't
I mean,
share
I
that
think
again."
yeah,
But it's
some of
good.
the technicalities can be a bit of a distraction. Do you know what I mean? It's like actually what you're trying to do, you're trying to help people, you're trying to provide value, you're trying to understand your audience, you're trying to build a community. So that's the stuff you want to be doing. And you can find people going down all sorts of rabbit holes on Substack. But essentially, it's about people and your ideas helping them and communicating that in the best possible way. And do that, and you will grow, and ultimately you will be able to then turn it into making money. Really,
Yeah. And, what you described earlier was perfect the way you said it, that the notes are for discovery, the chat is for, building sense of community audience, and then the post, newsletter subscribers get something of value, and then you take them to the next tier, which is the paid tier, and you want something of value that goes beyond what's in your free
yeah.
publication that is really super valuable. If you take a look at mine, I offer tons of stuff, so does Derek. But it's a funnel, which is why Substack is so brilliant for anybody who's trying to monetize,
Yeah.
their newsletter. It
I
really
mean, I
does.
made a big mistake when I started on Substack that I was like, "Oh, this is because it feels really easy to turn on paid subs, you just like, I just press this button and people could start paying me money. And you imagine at any point, thousands of dollars could just flood into your account. So I switched it on and it's like, if you're subscribed, you're going to get more content from me. And, and hey, surprise, people didn't want more content in their inbox. They don't just want more and more emails. And so I bumbled along for quite a while in all sorts of directions and trying to work it out. And then I might have read it from somebody or whatever, and I just thought, actually, of course, people don't want to sign up for more random emails, content. Actually, what they want is like tools and practical stuff. So mine offer got really clear where the free stuff is information and the paid stuff is implementation. You get the tools and the
Yeah.
templates, the eye prompts, but the free is where you get my thinking and the how to, etc. So I think having a really clear marker of what is paid above the free, so it's really clear. And once I did that, that's when my paid sub started to kind of take off and start to grow. Once it was like you're going to get one tool every week, a really simple, practical thing that's going to help you grow. And the rest of the time, it's kind of information and it's how to and it's tips and it's stories. So people get to know me before they pay for anything. So I think that
Yeah.
that's probably the big thing I would say when people are asking about free and paid.
I revised my model this year. I've been doing the deep dive Tuesday newsletter forever. And those are how to guides, like on one growth lever that you can implement now.
Yeah.
But this year I said, you know what, I've got enough paid subscribers now. I want to bring them together and do more, give them more help, right? Help them
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So I've now added monthly, pretty much their group coaching calls. I call them roundtables. We're having one today on paid tiers and pricing, in fact, but it's where I help my members with their problems around these topics. And we all come together on a Zoom call and we talk and,
Well,
share where we're stuck and help each other. So, that's kind of the next step for me. I also give them access to my master classes and all of my super helpful tutorials and things that, if they want to focus on one particular area, they can.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. Once you've built that's what Substack does. It helps you build an audience and it helps you get a community around you. And once you've got that, then actually the ideas that you have around making money, if you want to do a masterclass, a group thing, whether you want to send out tools, whatever you want to offer, you've got people you can actually offer it to. And the world's your oyster then. Once you've got an
Yeah.
audience, you've got like a good understanding of what they want. And you will find what you like how you like to provide your help. Some do one-to-one stuff, some do the group, some actually just want to do like written courses, and you can kind of test it out, but you need an audience for that, which is what Substack does for you, isn't it? So well that it gives you that email list rather than just followers on LinkedIn or whatever, which is really hard to monetize. So then you just experiment, because Carmen's asking, how did you develop your monetization strategy? I think you just experiment, and you based upon what the needs are, which you can work out. By the time you've got free subscribers, you know what they're subscribing for. You see the things that get most interest. And then, I did a digital
Yeah.
product, and that's where that come from. The content that people were most interested in. You're like, how do I go further, and how do I help them more with that? The mistake is to decide your money making strategy before you've got an audience. You can have some ideas, but really, I think you've got to test it in real time and stay a little bit loose and flexible and take that kind of experimental mindset.
I think
You've illustrated.
it really helps to look at what others in your space are doing as well.
Yeah,
Go to the leaderboards and look at what people's models are.
yeah, yeah,
Let's go to their subscription and see how they're pricing their tiers and what they're offering in their tiers.
yeah,
Not obviously Derek and I are similar. We teach about Substack and writing and notes and things like that. But my bigger goal is to help people build businesses, and Derek, his bigger goal is, I believe, to teach people how to write better. But whatever it is you're doing, I see Celine had a question about real estate and mixing that with personal. I don't advise that. I think your publication needs to be about one clear thing. And the more clear you are and focused on the outcome and what people will receive when they subscribe to you or work with you, the better.
yeah.
Um,
You can think about it like buying like a book, right? So if someone buys a book and it's all about real estate, to take that example, and they get to chapter 5, and chapter 5 stops talking about real estate and talks about the person's running habit, yeah, and then it gets back to real estate, and then chapter 10 is about the cat who died and how much you love the cat. You'd be thinking, I've paid money for this, do you know what I mean? And I paid money because I wanted help with real estate, So I
yeah,
think if you really want to make money and you want to grow an audience, then it's not about you. It's about the people that you're serving. Um,
absolutely.
think
Yeah,
about your local restaurant, do you know what I mean? And they're a restaurant, and you go there for meals, and then you turn up one day, and actually it isn't a restaurant. They've turned it into a keep fit class, and you want to buy food there, but it's doing something else. You'd just be like, "What is this place?" It would just be confusing, wasn't it? So as hard as it is, if you're trying to build an audience and ultimately you want to make money, then you're only going to get loyalty if you're kind of consistent in terms of the things that you help people with.
yeah, and that's where the content pillars come in. So you talk
Yeah,
about real estate. Maybe you do market focuses. Maybe you have a section on for buyers. Maybe you have a section for sellers where you just talk about issues, maybe something for first-time buyers. You can break it down like that, and those are your content pillars. What
yeah,
supports your greater purpose?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got about 2 minutes left, Carrie. We didn't talk
Yep.
about how long we'd gone. I've got about 2 minutes left because I've got a football game to go to.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got
okay.
off to see Manchester play football, etc.
Oh,
So
Manchester.
to I will need to
Yeah,
disappear. Uh,
no
but
problem. I have I have my paid, call in a little bit, but,
yeah, yeah,
um so, yeah, Catherine's asking about Gumroad. That's just a sales platform that's easy to use if you're selling digital products. I don't know, where do you sell yours?
I use Thrivecart because that's much
Thrivecart.
stronger for affiliates. It's much stronger in their sales pages, etc. But if you're starting out, Gumroad's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, so like, yeah, if anybody is interested in more stuff from me, then they'll find me, Irresistible Writer, on Substack, and send me DMs if they want with any questions as well. But it's been great fun chatting
And
and to talk to you in real life almost for the first time, Carrie. I know we've been chatting
oh,
over
yeah.
Stack and commenting and stuff. So it's always great to hear a bit more about people's strategies, and I guess
Yeah.
this is about it's not about competition. You know, the people who are serving the same niche, you want to work together, learn from each other, encourage each other. You know, don't just kind of do this on your own. It's really important to have other people who you can walk with.
Yeah. Well, it's a big pleasure. I've always enjoyed supporting your work. Love what you're doing. And yeah, so if any of you want to take, I have a notes masterclass available on my Gumroad store. There's a link to that on my 9 to Thrive homepage. It's about notes on my navigation bar. Go there and you can find that. But thank you so much, Derek, and everybody who joined and participated and had such great questions. The
Yeah, yeah,
replay will be available later. Um, I'm going to start posting these on my homepage as well because they get lost, I'm finding, in
yeah,
the archive. So, alrighty, yeah, anybody can reach out to us. So just DM us. All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
good luck
Brilliant.
with Manchester
Thanks,
there.
everyone.
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
they
Thanks,
win.
everyone. Bye
Take
bye.
care, Derek. Bye.